Now, Eminem is most definitely evolving, man, and I'm not necessarily talking about how the music is sounding, although that's another conversation for another day. Gotta speak on this topic though, so yeah, let's not waste any time and let's talk about it. Now, when I say that Eminem is evolving, what exactly am I talking about? Well, first of all, let's start with that song he dropped yesterday, a remix actually, featuring Jack Harlow and Cordae. The remix is to the song Killer from the Music to Be Murdered By Side B Deluxe Edition. I actually think this remix is better than the original song. I always felt like the OG version was missing something, either that or I just didn't like the song all that much to begin with. But this remix was dope. Jack Harlow brought a lot of cool bars to the song, most definitely brought out the great side of the instrumental and made it more of a banger. Cordae, top-notch lyricist. I'd like to hear him rap on these kinds of instrumentals more because it is a little bit outside of his comfort zone and I think he shines on pretty much everything overall. Cordae has a way of adapting to whatever vibe he's trying to embody, which that's something I really love about him. This is where Eminem comes in though, and the specific conversation I'm referring to is the fact that Eminem is really starting to put himself out there as far as in this new generation space of rap. Bringing together guys like Jack Harlow and Cordae on a record is way more than Jack or Cordae getting on a song with someone who they're very much inspired by. This track actually says more about Eminem's mindset towards the rap game than anything else. And just for the record, before I continue, this is obviously not the first time he's embraced the new wave. That Godzilla collab with the late Juice, along with the music video that the boy Cole Bennett directed, is kind of the peak of him embracing the new wave, and maybe we could even call that the start of it. But this has kind of been the missing piece in Eminem's career. He's in a lot of ways been not only disconnected from this new generation space, but he's also willingly put a lot of distance between himself and the space. I'm mainly referring to the whole mumble rap thing. This is something that came up a lot on, for example, Kamikaze. I'm talking about the references to mumble rap, Eminem going at guys like Lil Yachty, Lil Xan, Lil Pump. Eminem's perspective towards the new generation has been sour, and I get it. He came up in an era where people were very much rapping, and suddenly 2 decades later, a big majority of the youngins coming up don't even know how to spit a hot 16, so that negative perception he's had throughout these years, a lot of that stems from the love he has for the craft, really. That's not something I'm gonna hold over his head, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. We don't need separation in hip-hop. We don't need one of the OGs, in this case Eminem, pointing at these guys or those guys saying, hey, they don't belong in the genre. Or maybe not literally saying that, but more so downplaying them. There's a really impactful separation that happens when a guy as influential as Eminem does that. It creates an internal conflict within the genre, especially within the fan bases. It becomes us against the rappers who mumble or the rappers who make this type of music, etc. And a lot of those things kind of come off as holier than thou. That's something to think about. This is a big reason why a lot of new generation hip-hop fans aren't that fond of Eminem. This is pretty much the source of the Eminem hate that's going around these days, and I've even personally criticized Eminem for this because I think this is a very bad way to approach things from, especially when you're the guy at the top who a lot of these young rappers actually look up to. In the grand scheme of things, Eminem is universally respected, right? This is a guy who stood beyond the test of time. He's paid his dues, he's in the history books at this point, and by the way, I don't care what anyone says, okay? Eminem is a living legend. Don't let hip-hop Twitter fool you into thinking otherwise. The sheer amount of accomplishments Eminem has under his name, I mean, that's unheard of. That's literally why he's sitting at the top, right? With that being said, Eminem has clashed with the new generation due to how he's addressed them on his records, but it looks like that has stopped. I personally don't remember hearing a single mumble rap bar on Music to Be Murdered By, and on top of that, he's actually going out of his way to collab with them. He's putting them on his records, bringing them together, right? As an example, Jack and Cordae. Something to think about, by the way. Remember how Cordae responded to J. Cole on that 1985 remix? The reason why that song even exists is because Cordae wanted to use his platform to speak for the young rappers of this generation, and obviously he was doing that as a response to J. Cole for the things he said on 1985. This is what Cordae said about the song, by the way. My goal of this song was just like to get old niggas to understand the perception of the youth and to bridge the gap and bring togetherness. We don't really got nobody to speak for the young niggas, you know what I'm saying? We just be talking that shit and we go on like Twitter or IG and be like, you old niggas. So I'd rather do it through like creativity. So Cordae is the new generation. With that being said, when Eminem, as an example, takes a jab at the young rappers in this era, it's almost like an automatic jab at everyone because they're all coming up together. I think over time, Eminem's mindset is gonna keep on evolving though. And is he perfect? Absolutely not, but who is? I just like the fact that he's consistently been extending a hand to the new generation. It's really cool to see M being in touch with them. He's heavily respected, has an insanely big platform, and this is the kind of unity we need in the culture, man. Really, straight up. But yeah, Eminem is evolving, that's for sure. It's really dope to see him going out of his way and consistently just just giving back to the youth, man. At the end of the day, the only way he can look is down since he's at the top of the game. He's paying his blessings forward by putting guys like Jack Harlow and Cordae on his records, and I love to see it, man. Any thoughts on this topic though? Definitely let me know in the comment section. Did I just mumble my outro? Shit, Eminem is not gonna like that. Please don't diss me.